Smells good too.
And welcome back to Eberron Political. So Eberron Chapter 2, Reap What You Sow. I'll get used to it.
You're an ass.
Reap what you sow. Yeah. In case you're missing the joke here, Kunsai made a pot of coffee and drank all of it so that Rinsen couldn't have any.
I didn't drink all of it.
Because
Goddamn monster.
Kunsai's a douche. So moving on.
How that went down.
As you guys go walking into the chamber to see each other the first time in 9 months, who speaks first? Who says what? And don't mind me, I'm just going to sit here and eat cookie dough. Because
Okay.
fatty.
I would probably stand up and just like open my arms a little bit, just like you guys, like type of.
You
Yeah,
guys.
I break like that.
Because Stalbot
sternness.
would have run across the room, he would have been like motioning to Luca, because like he's the big man.
Mm.
So
I'm just
he was,
kind of just like.
expecting you to speak.
If there's no buddy speaks for a moment, Reich will say in a very serious voice and with his normal stoic face, directly to Luca. Don't think that ring will make me give you any more respect. And then he sits quietly for a moment, letting the kind of tension build, and then he gives a big toothy smile, and steps past Stalbor, patting him, like kind of slapping him on the shoulder, up to Luca to extend his hand, and he says, "A jest. Congratulations, friend." It's well
I'll
deserved."
nod to that and have a big smile back and be like, I guess this means I'll have the advantage for our next Conqueror game, huh?
I'm out of practice, so you better hope you can. A drink to your success, then. I point at the any alcohol in the area.
Yeah,
There would be some.
Yeah.
There'd
I
be
would have
two.
whiskey.
There'd be Lucas and Stalbot. They both would have brought bottles at this point.
So I would go over and I would actually pour 3 whiskeys, and I would look at Stalbor to see if he wanted one.
Gives you a thumbs up.
So I pour a 4th whiskey, give one to Stalbor, one to Reich, and then I carry one over to Kieran. And I'm just like, as I remember correctly, you drink anything? And I hand it to you.
Yeah. I'll take it. Like, thank you.
Well, this is exciting.
It is. I have information for you guys. But first, I have a present. And I will, like, go through my bag and I'll pull, like, a small little box. And I'll turn to Stalbor. Like, I'm actually, like, super, like, pleased with myself and just happy. Like, Stalbor, this is for you. And I'll open it up. And you see, like, on, like, a fine silver chain, there's a small vial of what appears to be water with, like, little silver filigree kind of wrapping around it with an ornate kind of, like, cap. If you look at the liquid inside of it, I don't want to say it's cloudy. It looks more like there's, like, 2 separate liquids in there that aren't quite, like, mixing. So if you shake them apart, they'll kind of, like, swirl around each other. Like, one's a little bit more cloudier than the other. And I will hand it to you.
Stalbot actually is a little speech. Like he's like, ooh, presents, and then kind of is a little speechless because he.
I got you this pen.
Well, Stalbot, I imagine like Stalbot also didn't
is it-
know that they were coming because Luca maybe didn't tell him immediately. So
No, I wanted it to be a pleasant surprise.
exactly.
Can't
So
look
he's
so pleased
I
with
hate
yourself.
surprises.
Is it better than elementally bound dagger?
it's infinitely more beautiful, and I
Aw.
respect beauty.
So, fun fact about this. I got this while we were in Zendrick. I have a little bit of sway there and had some people look around for me for a suitable replacement for the thing that you lost. It has Elvish history. Way back when the elves were enslaved by the giants of Zendrick. They were used as sacrifices. I like how it does.
I put like a questioning look on my face, like I raise an eyebrow. I was in the middle of
Stalbot
taking a
just like
sip, I
nods,
put it
like
down.
yes, they were.
So, thousands of them were thrown into this lake and magically preserved as sacrifices. It's called Fog Lake because it's constantly surrounded by mist. I hear that nobody really goes there. But I had an adventuring party go out and they collected some water from that lake. I don't really know what it does, but it's magical as fuck, so here you go.
So this is the stew of his ancestors?
So
Love it.
I told
Congra-
them Creepy, elvish, and magical, and that's what they brought me back. So
Congratulations to your new ring and your creepy dead body water. And I take a drink out of my glass at that.
I'll cheers to that.
Eric, is that a sip of coffee that you stole from Rinson?
And it
He
wasn't
made
stolen.
it. It's his coffee.
It is.
fuck you.
It tastes even more delicious now.
Absolutely raises his glass.
Mhm.
He is just ear to ear, so happy. It's like I would have gotten you something, but I had no idea you were coming.
We wouldn't have been able to catch that ship if you didn't give up your possession. So thank you.
So I have many stories to tell.
Oh?
Luca has been in so many embarrassing situations.
So I would like elbow you and just like not all the stories.
Yeah.
So there was the one time, like I imagine he would tell one story because he at least wanted to do something, and it wouldn't even be that embarrassing. It'd be like something very human that Stalbor doesn't exactly understand.
Hmm.
Trying to think what that would be.
Maybe like sleep talking or something.
Yeah,
Sleep
sleep.
talking?
That's perfect. But yeah, and then he would just be like, "So why? Don't get me wrong. I'm incredibly glad that you came to visit, but the reasoning has slipped entirely past me."
Like I said, I have information. I have finished decoding all the messages that Dane left.
That
Jeez.
took some time.
Didn't you
It did.
tell? Didn't you
Did.
tell my worst half it would only take you 3 weeks?
Told you better half. It would only take 3 weeks. It took longer than 3 weeks.
This is significantly longer. This is a long time for me. I can't imagine how you could handle it.
It was arduous. It was awful. I hated it. I got to know the guards of Sharn really well, which is uncomfortable.
They are.
I know
they
their
are
names.
not people.
One of them had a baby.
Okay. Well, perhaps. Was there anything on this list that jumped out at you?
Yes, I mean, clearly you must have
There you go.
arrived for important
And I would
messages.
hand them all the messages.
of
Very
papers.
little of it makes sense to me. So here you go. It's like a huge stack of papers.
His hand, I would just start like
Two
rifling
presents.
through it.
You do
Right.
make me blush.
Have you not looked through this?
I have.
Well, I said to Reich, have you not looked through this?
Oh no, I didn't give it to him yet.
He would have
I
had
was
this
not-
like organized and like.
This
he
is
would have taken
organized.
care.
What do you mean?
I look at it. It's just like it's probably.
Reich
like,
just looks at it with like
television.
disgust.
It's like so not organized. Nope. I look at Reich.
I wrote it down. What do you mean?
How
It's
did you
not
guys
giving me
travel
the
here?
opportunity.
Airship.
Yeah, he could have spent like that trip just making this neat and legible.
It's fine.
I mean, the
We-
handwriting's not.
Interact much
Worst.
during our travels.
Because they're assholes.
I'll hold up my glass to that and take a drink.
I'll
Wanna-
cheers to that.
Or. And. Do I send it to him? The
Hmm?
list of the things?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You can send. I
Appreciate
can
it.
send it over to him right now.
Cool.
Perfect.
Not a problem.
I'm not reading all that out loud.
Yeah, no.
No,
we-
absolutely not. I
Look,
mean,
right?
we have access to the papers. Stalbor would be just looking at them at this point,
Yeah.
Well, that's
leaning
fine.
over the table, all dramatic like.
I do not mind reading them out loud. And then we'll
Okay.
also post them onto the Obsidian portal. So the messages. Let's see. One of them is, the light in the sky hides more than it reveals. Another one. And wherever I searched, records seemed missing. Third one. Blood-covered pelts make them hard to find. Fourth one. Ink is used to blotch the truth. Fifth one. The balanced would cease, profits would fall. Sixth one. As with all the greatest plots, follow the money and find the facts. Seventh one. A noble roar chases them from hiding. Eighth. And it's known I've begun. It's known I've begun to unravel. ... Piece together with a later one that says, and so I've had to hide. ... Piece together with a later one that says, shadows see more than they obscure. Ninth bit.
The handwriting on that bit on the notes was so horrible. I had to read it like 3 times.
Yeah.
My handwriting
the next
is
bit,
fine.
it says intimidation, suppression, and death are the 3 minds of the one body. 10th quote. Battered wall that never falls, no matter how gray the day. 11th quote. It's believed they bring harmony or faith. 12th quote. Among the rubble and ruin, a pact is made and kept secret. 13. Lazria has stolen my conductor, and with it my spark. You know who Lazria is, Aaron.
Yeah.
14th. Many have hands in the plots while the mongrels boil. Continues on to, however, the pot itself is still the possession of ... Continue to another one that says, can only gain power from the suffering of others. A different quote. I've never known what to fear more, a storm at sea or the creatures beneath it. And the last one of the new quotes. The gnomish gorgon is perhaps the most crafty creature I've ever met.
Stalbor would be looking over these, like, I'm an elf, and this is metaphorical bullshit.
Okay, well, the last one makes sense. He's talking about, the gnomish gorgon. I don't know. Never mind. I take that back. I was gonna say House Cannith. I don't know who the gnomish one is.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
Line 10. The battered wall never falls, no matter how gray the day. Gray and wall both capitalized. There's a city, gray wall, and dry.
If these were his notes, why didn't he just make them legible?
That
Right?
actually stuck out to me too.
This is all gibberish.
I don't want to go to Durham.
These weren't his notes. Stalwar.
Just an idea.
Oh, I thought they were actually his notes made
No.
by him.
His notes were sewn into clothes. This is her handwriting. This is her deciphering jumble of notes.
No, but it's the words. It's the. I imagine he would have copied the same wordage.
All right.
I
So
did what I could. An attempt was made.
So
I know how Lazria is, and we're not friends.
Oh,
I wouldn't mind confronting her about this.
oh. Do tell.
just about stealing the conductor. Do you know what that even means?
No, not at all. But it doesn't sound good, and it was in his notes. So
Who is this woman?
she is a House Landar captain, and she lives in Zendrick. Stormreach, that island we were at several months ago.
I vote we do something else.
Why?
We were just there.
I thought you said it a long time ago, even by your standards.
I was making a joke.
Oh,
This
okay.
has been a lovely weekend vacation in the minds of mortals. Oh, poor Luca here has been sweating and crying while sweating. I've just been enjoying a lovely little vacation.
Well, I can always send this information off to my family, which I was going to do anyways, and perhaps they can question her
Well, I mean,
for us.
perhaps
Is anything else that got to anyone?
the only thing that got to me was the same thing that got to Reich
The gray
with
walls.
the battered wall. Yeah, exactly.
And then
It stuck out to me, but I don't know.
the other one that stuck out to me was the shadow see more than they obscure. Obviously, it's the mark of shadow, which we know killed Dane, but I'm not allowed to go burn down the theater house, so
Well, also the
I don't know what
light
to do
in the
there.
sky hides more than it reveals seems to maybe even go with that.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Neither do I, but they are very similar.
Light in the sky.
They're all similar. This is
Any
all.
place that would be referred
Very
to
cryptic.
colloquially as the light in the sky. Perhaps the sky what the hell is the place called in
Skyway.
Sharn?
Sharn. Skyway, yeah, Skyway and
Skyway
Sharn.
and Sharn.
Just a
Would
thought.
make sense.
True, it could even be referring to the tunnels.
Indeed.
Well, a place like that is filled with all sorts of big wigs and high hats doing incredibly illicit stuff.
Ink used to block the truth. That catches my attention.
House Civis?
Indeed, and you would. It also strikes me as House Kundarark might be involved in this somehow.
All the money?
Given the two lines involving monetary information, the balance would cease, profits will fall. The balance being balance sheets.
It seems like several Dragonmark houses are mentioned in this, like the Gorgon later on. That's obviously House Cannith.
Oh, I was kind of hoping there's actually was a gnomish Gorgon. That
no,
that's a metaphor.
That's a metaphor. Gorgon.
It's all metaphors.
Yep.
Well, looking at this list, we all have questions about it, but the only thing that we seem to have even the slightest lead on, because you know her, would be checking out about the conductor. Who knows? That might even lead to something else on this list, but I don't think approaching any of these blindly would be a good idea. Like going to Grey Wall just because
that would be idiotic.
That doesn't do anything for us.
That would require traveling through Droam, which would be incredibly dangerous in the first place. Grey Wall is possibly one of the most dangerous parts of Droam.
We've also pissed off a lot of changelings. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Should probably not go to Droam.
Stalbor would be writing all this down in his handwriting, and he would have got it done very quickly, and then he would be like going to leave, quite excitedly.
Where are you going?
Alex is smart, and he's humanish. He's human, and Dane was half human, so clearly the he'll understand the metaphors. An extra head keeps the pot boiling.
Who is this?
My friend Alex.
Oh, Scott, I would have sent this all to my uncle too, by the way, because he asked for it.
Is that the one that we spoke to back in Sharn?
No,
not at all.
No. I have two friends now.
Well, that's excellent, but
Two, huh?
I'm forced to remind you that this was a secret. This was a secret, writing that this man left and possibly died for. Perhaps it is not the smartest bit to go spreading this information around everywhere, even if for the safety of the people you share it with.
Okay.
Or
reasonable.
Or if we start sharing the information, we make ourselves targets and they come after us, and then we can fucking kill them.
You're assuming that we can kill them.
This seems like at least 6 conspiracies.
We've lost the one party member to a fight we were ready for.
I'll like lean in. Ready for? Maybe not.
I'll like nod to like I was gonna say it, but he said it first.
We at least knew the fight was coming.
Yeah, we just didn't anticipate how big of a fight.
We had no idea who these people are. We have no idea even what he was looking for. We have no leads.
I honestly think that we should show Stalbor's friend, but perhaps for him to brainstorm, not to clue him in on what we already know or anything like that. He could think this over and maybe be in contact with Stalbor while we go check out the only lead we do have.
Mind you,
exactly.
Luca would know the name Hallex because there's only one Hallex in the academy.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Luca would know Hallex by this point.
I'm calling him Stalbor's friend.
Mm-hmm.
I've given my wisdom. It is up there. I will follow you where you decide to take this.
Stalbor kind of like motions at him with the paper he's written and just like whisks out the door quite quickly, jangling.
I shake my head. Begrudgingly follow him.
You taking Hallex back here, or is everybody going to Hallex?
I'm going to Hallex. They can follow if they want, I guess. He wasn't expecting them to.
Well, I would actually, if he just bustles out, I'm just gonna sit back down with my drink and say, "So how's your studies been?" Just starting up a conversation with Luca.
Aaron, really quickly, are the rest of your notes the ones that were given to you last season? Or are those on here as well?
No.
On the ones that he took? Not on here, but the one on the thing that what's his name?
Oh yeah. I would have given them all of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. My mouse finally died. I apparently haven't charged it in ages, so my mouse around the computer died. So I can't access those notes right now. So I have them. They're not achievable.
Sure.
Attainable.
That's your excuse for shoddy DMing today? Okay.
Yeah,
Good one.
well, I have this computer. I just don't have.
0 out of 10, Scott.
Yeah. I also have
think
them on
it
my
released the
laptop, but I have to let somebody who still hasn't ordered a part from his computer in 8 months use it. So, all right. So, anyways, moving on. So you eventually you go find your way to Hallex. Hallex is downstairs in one of the training chambers, training with a personal combat teacher. Try to teach him the style of fending off 2 opponents at the same time. The 2 opponents, you always notice that whenever the 2 opponents are going against him, they're always people of extremely low rank and importance.
Yeah.
That are always seemingly very well paid. Are the ones that he faces off against. And so he's down there and he's doing the best he can to defend against them. However, even though these lackeys are, they're technically students or tutors as well. This teacher is very unforgiving. Many times Luca has had to just literally walk home, walk to his room and just pass out and not wake up until it's time to get ready for training again without dinner after working with this teacher. So you go down there and you literally just watch this kid with 2 people uneasily attacking him and beating the living shit out of him as he has absolutely no defensive skill whatsoever. Mind you, he first got here, granted this is Luca's second time being here, he first got here about 2 months or 3 months prior to Luca's arrival, when Luca got back here. And in all that
We've been here
time,
about a year.
in all that time, he could defend himself as well as probably all he can in real life with 2 people swinging at him with a sword, which is like...
I take my clothes off. No one wants to deal with that.
Nice.
Gotta have a plan. Yeah.
Go ahead, do it, and then they beat the shit out of him with swords, and
True.
they had to
turns
watch
into
the
a
Bruce's
weird-
farm.
Hate crime of some sort.
Exactly.
Don't like goblins,
Oh my
do ya? Don't like
Thing is that
goblins.
Stalbo would be down here, and Stalbo would be waiting. He would not interrupt, because he doesn't
You just
care.
watch him get the shit kicked out of him for probably the next 45 minutes or so. And when it's all done, the teacher would leave.
He would actually at least once go like, "You're really doing well, Alex."
The teacher would eventually leave, looking at you the same way he always looks at you. You don't belong here. And then the other 2 would leave, and kind of as they walk by, one of them just poignantly stares at the ground, and the other one looks at you kind of pathetically, ugh. I feel bad I just did this.
I would sort of, as it's wrapping up, be actually making my healing elixir, right, with spell wise.
Yep.
And then I would go to Alex and hand it to him.
Cool. And so he takes the healing elixir and yeah, it's dead. And so he takes the healing elixir and tries to so I'm sorry. As soon as it's all over, you go over to him and you offer him the healing elixir. I just realized I could charge it right there. You go over to him and you offer him the healing elixir, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Stalbor." Oh, it still tastes awful, but I do appreciate it.
Good for you.
And so now standing before you is a 10, 11-year-old human boy, covered in bruises and shit kicked out of him, sitting there with a growing black eye and welt on the side of his face, just sitting on the floor, plopped in the middle of the floor with a towel next to him, just kind of trying to wipe the sweat and blood off of himself. What brings you here today, Stalbor?
My friends, co-workers, friends. I don't know whether they would like me calling them friends.
You mean Luca?
Luca and Kieran and Reich.
Oh, the other ones that you told me about.
Yes. I can almost imagine him going, "And Odette," and he'd be like, he holds the paper out and is like, "We are decoding secret messages that are all weird little metaphors and idioms that I frankly do not understand."
Well, when I was back at home, Father wasn't very interested in me learning these things. But I can try to take a look at it and see if I can help out.
Something might catch your eye that wouldn't catch any of our eyes. You know, birth and all that. And he would just sort of dangle it in front of his face. He wouldn't actually give it to him. He'd just be holding it at eye level.
He's like, well, hold on, and he actually go to snatch it, and unless you stop him, not like, but you know, like
Yeah.
take it from you.
He'd let him, but he'd just sort of like be like, okay.
Okay, and so he takes it from you and starts looking it over and reading it for a while. He's like, okay, light and search records and blood cartels and noble.
Do you see what I mean? It's all absolute. These are. Why would someone not write in a way that's legible? It's all the sort of things you would read about in children's stories.
Aaron, did you say the original ones or the are there or are not there?
They would
They
be on
are.
my notes for sure. Because Stan would remember them anyway.
From
She said
before?
they are.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep.
So sadly, again, I don't have them. Oh wait! Oh, my cell phone is connected to the world of everything. I have it right here. Ha ha ha!
Thank you, technology.
Yay! Now to update, and there we go. Yay! He'd look them over for a while, and after looking over for a while, he would sit there and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. Some of these are kind of strange. Let's see. Rebel. Lazria. She's a Lyrindar captain. I know that one. I remember reading about her because of what she did at the tail end of the war. Let's
What did
see.
she do?
Hands in the what?
What did she do? And he would just be smiling. He's not like, whoa, he'd just be like, what did he do?
Oh, at the tail end of
Gossip.
the war.
Hmm.
Oh, she used a tactic to sink all of her enemy ships. She she had used a tactic where they would use fire to burn the sails of the ships of her opponents to more or less leave them stranded at sea, and then you could use that tactic to try to get advantage on them when you go in for attacks, like sea battle attacks. I haven't
makes
gone into
sense.
those lessons yet, so I don't understand fully how it works. But you would do that. But then she had called in Stormbringers, and they made huge maelstorms and gale winds, and capsized and destroyed all the boats in Stormwater. Yeah.
Ruthless. It seems that all of Delarendar is, which is... Okay, good. Thank you. Anything else?
I tell you all the time, Stalboard, never trust a house.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, they always go where the coin is finest. Okay, let's see. That's what Father always says. Okay, let's see. The gnomish Gorgon. That's weird. Gnomes can't be Gorgons.
No, I was thinking that. Yeah.
And Gorgons can't be gnomes. Only thing I can think of is maybe like, so the binders work a lot closely with the Cannith. So that could be a thing. Fear more storm at sea or the creatures beneath. That just sounds more Lyrindar biblical stuff. I don't know. Most of these. Oh, this one right here. That's weird. That all this stuff looks to be like maybe houses, but the bear's den. The bear is my father, and the bear's den is our home. So I don't know what the third table is, but the bear's den is my father's home.
Oh, That's very useful.